Hello, what's up, good people? So, now, what do you do when you lose your job? Or what do you do exactly when you do not have a job? Those are the main things that I'm going to talk about in this specific video. And I'm going to start with what do you do when you lose a job? All right? I mean, you've lost what that has been giving you the daily bread. So, what do you do exactly about that? Then I'm going to talk about what do you do when you do not have a job. These are the tricks that you can be able to hack life and be able to live or sustain what has been going on in your life so that you live a comfortable life, because I know that's what you yearn for, just like any other human out there. But before you delve into the today's topic, I would like you to take 1 second. Just below there on your right side, there is a button written subscribe. It is in black. Just hit that button as well. On your left, there is another one that's a like this. Hit those two buttons and guess the importance of that, because I know you would like to know the value of that. You get not to miss any of my videos that I'm gonna post in future. All right, so you better do that. And guess what? It is free and fast as well. All right, I'm not gonna waste of your time. Let's get into today's business. All right, so what do you do exactly when you lose your job? First of all, a job is where you disseminate your services to get paid, because I always say money is a reward given after solving someone's problem. Now, this place that you've been going to disseminate your service has been now cut short. You do not have now you do not have a source of income, and perhaps now you ask yourself, what exactly do you have or do you do from that particular point? Now, the question is this: of course, there is a life that you are sustaining using the cash that you're getting, and that means now you have to cut short all those things that are going on. Of course, you must have pay your rent, you must pay your school fees. If you have kids, you have to sustain all your life, you have to dress up yourself and something like that. Now, this source of income has been cut. It is no longer there. First of all, the very first thing that you're supposed to do, the very first thing that you're supposed to do, guess what? You're supposed to accept. Yes, accept. Accepting does not mean now you stay on that comfort zone. Appreciate the fact that you, at that particular point, you cannot control it. And I always say in life, control the controllables. No, this is not one of the controllables. This one you just let go. All right, just accept, because there is nothing you can do about it. If you can think about it and solve it in the next 2 hours or 3 hours or the next day, then it's better to think about it. But if you cannot do so, then actually stressing yourself about it gets yourself into a problem. Number two that you're supposed to do, appreciate the fact now that you have to downgrade yourself. And what that means is that you have to cut short some of the things that you're doing. Let's say, for example, you are paying what we call like internet services in your house. You have to cut that. Maybe let's say you are paying like a higher cable amount of money in terms of your decoder or something of sort. You have to cut that. Maybe you are subscribing to something like, let's say you are doing that chamas or something of sort. Then you have to cut about that. Maybe let's say you are subscribed to a certain yoga classes, or maybe you are doing some gym somewhere or something. You have to cut all that. So there's some of the things that you have to shake off so that at least you be able to sustain. Because listen, one thing in life, things are classified into three. Perhaps you've ever heard me talking about this. I'm gonna say it again. Life and things are classified into three. We have what we call the must have. This is the food, shelter, and clothing. You cannot live without those three. Of course, you must dress up, you must have somewhere to live, and you must eat. Those are the three things that you must have. All right, the next thing we have is what we call the good to have. Good to have a TV. It's good to have a phone, because you can be able to receive a call or maybe apply a job or something of sort. It's good to have a chair where you can sit, or a couch or anything. All right, and the other thing is nice to have. The nice to have is not really a must you have them. It's not really a must you subscribe to a gym. All right, you can just do your practices from home. That's a nice to have. It's not really a must you have a car. It's not really a must. All right, you can use the public means. It's not really a must that you have a very expensive phone. All right, so now you start shaking off that what you know it's good and nice to have. You remain with what we call the must have. Now, when you sustain, or when you're dealing with the must have, then it means, yeah, still might be a little bit harder, but again, you can be able to move around those three things. The other thing that you're supposed to do ahead is, of course, downgrade yourself in terms of where you're renting. Perhaps when you're paid, maybe let's say you're being paid 100,000 or something, then you feel like out of the house that you're paying, maybe it's worth like 30 or 40,000. This is the time now you cut off. But honestly, can you pay 40,000 rent and you're getting paid 100,000? I bet the maximum they should go is around 18,000 to 20. All right, around there. So anyway, the point is this: like, you have to go down. You downgrade yourself and move to a different place. First of all, you have to shut from what the friends will say, because they're always there and they're always on your back. And in most cases, you find that the things that people tend to do is out there to please those who surround them. First of all, they will be there at your back. Most likely, these are the realities that will hit you. Most likely, you lose your friends. Most likely, you lose all those guys whom you hang around, because they now know you're not only becoming a disturbance to them, but also you are liability. So they know any moment you can, request for a money or something or so. So they tend to move away from you. But those who are real to you, they always stay close. So you downgrade yourself, and when I say you downgrade yourself, shake off some of the things that you don't find necessary, so that at least you can do something better. And I bet before you get fired, of course, this is why I always tell people, even this message is for those guys who are employed. Anything can happen. And I always say the most predictable thing about life is unpredictability. You can wake up tomorrow and then you're gone. In terms of job, you don't have a job. All right, so it's always good to save aside a little bit. Now take an example of this. What if you were saving something, let's say 20% of your salary? All right, so right now you get fired, you have something in your bank. I know you're a bit confused because you don't even know what business you can start, because you've never even thought of starting a business, or you're this kind of a guy who plays saves and you don't wanna, risk your cash or something of sort. It might be a little bit tricky, but guess what? This is what you do. You go hang around with guys who are operating business, so that you can get something in terms of a business that you can go ahead and start. And this is why I always encourage people, if you are employed somewhere, always think of starting another business, because even where you're getting money, it's also somebody who invested. So there's no need of you worrying. All right. So this is why I'm saying, now you get fired, you have your money, you should think of going somewhere that you can start a small business, so that you can grow yourself and pick up yourself from where you left. It does not matter. For example, take an example what happened in 2020 after the COVID-19 hit the entire globe. All right. A lot of people were using their cars as the makeshift sort of markets where they were selling food, vegetables and all kind of a thing, just to be a little bit creative and shut from whatever people are saying out there. Because once you put into consideration what people may think or see about you, then it means you're gonna confine yourself into a comfort zone or a cocoon, whereby the reality, you don't want to get outside there, because the reality gonna hit you very, very hard. So sometimes you just get off whatever they are saying. If you're living in a certain estate, get out of the estate, go to an affordable house, then start a small business, then pick up yourself from there and move to the next level. Don't be so rigid in life, because if you are, then you might get a lot of discouragement in life, and that one can frustrate you and get yourself into troubles. All right, so I'm done with those who maybe they can lose your job or something of sort, but perhaps you still stick around here. Kindly make sure that you subscribe, hit this video, or rather give this video a thumbs up out there, so a lot of people can come on board, and as well you can be notified when I upload a new video. All right, so the second one, it's about if you don't have a job. So what exactly do you do right now as you speak? You don't have a job. Perhaps let's say you're a graduate. Perhaps let's say like you're for labor, like anyway, you just a common out there who's doesn't have a job or something of sort. This is what you can do. I always tell people, appreciate the fact that's where you are, right? And I always tell people, it can be very detrimental if you do not have a job and you do not have skills. At least have one. Right? You don't have a job, fine, good. Do you have a skill? Yes, I do. And the moment that skill that you have, and if you do not have a skill, let's deal if you do not have a skill. If you do not have a skill, there are a variety of places that you can head over and learn a skill. YouTube, right now where we are in this platform, this is a whole kind of a university, can teach you a lot of things. Guess how many things that I've learned in YouTube? A lot of things, all right? About video editing, about couple of things that I've actually learned in this specific YouTube. All right, I'm making placards and whatever, I don't know what we call them, these wedding invitations and what have you. You can learn a lot of things from the YouTube channel. So you can take it as a platform where you can learn a skill. You can learn like photoshopping, you can learn graphic design, you can learn something like Corel Draw, you can learn something like all those skills. All right, and those are the skills that you can go out there and disseminate them and get a reward out of it. Because I always repeat this point, money is a reward given after solving someone's problem. So say you are not employed and you're out there, you have skills, and maybe the skills that you have, you don't have the money to start a business towards it. What you can do is that, first of all, if you've realized, for example, if you've been to university and you've learned a skill like fashion and design, you don't have money, all right, you don't have money to start that business, and you don't have a place whereby you can be able to be employed. This is what you do. Take advantage of what is happening in the social media. I always tell people, you are out there, you're a surveyor, you're an engineer, you're a doctor, you're a fashion designer, you are a caterer, you can cook, you can do, you can shoot. There's something that you do have. All right, I always say this, pick that phone that you have right now. Doesn't matter what camera that you have in terms of quality, put it out there and talk to people. Tell people, hey, you know what, guys, I know about something about fashion. This is what I can tell you. You can do this, you can do this. And at first, build your platform, build yourself, and then attach a value towards you, and then after that, when you realize now you've grown to a point whereby now you can be able to sell your services out there, or monetize. That's the best term. If you can monetize now your service, now you put it out there, people are always ready to reward you and give you something at the end of the day. What exactly did I just say you're not employed, you're out there and you have a skill, and I believe you do have a skill. There is a mistake that happened when it comes to the conventional education. When you get into the university, they tell you now you're a teacher, now you're an engineer, now you're a doctor. So you confine your thinking to a doctor, you confine your thinking to a teacher. So if you do not get something that resonates with teaching, then it means you're gone. That's what you think. That's not the reality, right? That's what they have taught you for the last like 18 years that you've been in school. But the point is this: if there were no schools, assume if there were no schools, then does it mean you'll be useless? No, it does not mean so. Then it means that's that thing that you've been created with. Let's say the greatest marathoner in Kenya is called Eliud Kipchoge. Say that dude decided to go to university and be a teacher, all right, or an engineer. Does it mean now he cannot run? No, he can. You get the point. So there is that thing that you do have inside of you that you can go ahead and talk to people. Can you convince people? Can you public speak? Can you sit in front of a camera and talk to people and tell them, hey, you know what, guy? You can do this or the other. That is exactly what you do. And let me tell you one thing: talent does not only pay you, but also feels good because you're doing that what you love. Can you imagine playing and feeling good and being paying at the same time? That's the most important thing. That is exactly what you do. First of all, start from where you can. Even if it gets the slowest or the smallest salary, then compile that smallest salary, then start it something small, then you grow yourself like that. And I always tell people, if you aren't employed, then what I can advise you is this: do what is available. All right, do what you can get before you get what you want. All right, you can get out of there. I always tell some guys, you don't have to fold your arms and a little slumber, because even the Bible says that a little slumber and poverty will stretch you like whatever, so get out there, you don't go those jungles, go those areas whereby you can just do manual work. I know it will be tiring, but you do those manual work, accumulate some little cash. And if I can give you an example of guys who came out of the manual work until to where they are right now, using me as an example, you will wonder. If you can go to my oldest videos and get what I used to do kitambo, my friend, I'm telling you, you'll be shocked, because that's where we start, and you grow yourself to a point where by now people no longer pay you because of your biceps, they pay you because of your brain. That's how we do it. All right, so anyway, perhaps if you are out there, you're confused, you don't even know how to start your business, you got some cash with you, I got you covered. How? I got booklets about businesses. I have a booklet of over 30 business ideas. I have another one about business plans. I have another one about shares, treasury bonds. I have another one about money market fund and what have you. And you can get a copy. And guess what? It's only $220. How do you do that? You get my number from the description of this specific video. Contact me on WhatsApp. You get your copy. You solve the problem. It's a simple start. For now, it's a goodbye. See you there.